Under the scorching Mediterranean sun and with the grandeur of Majorca's coastline as a backdrop, the stage was set for one of the most anticipated events on the Spanish royal calendar, the traditional summer reception at Marivent Palace. For years, this glamorous gathering has drawn the crème de la crème of Balearic society, dignitaries, politicians, artists, and influential figures from across the archipelago. It's an evening draped in elegance, quiet power, and refined ceremony, one where every move, glance, and gesture is meticulously observed, dissected, and interpreted. But this year, amid the fanfare and flashbulbs, something more profound unfolded. Not just a royal reception. Not just another summer photo op. This was the highly anticipated debut of Princess Leonor and Infanta Sofía at the palace's symbolic celebration. And what was meant to signal strength, unity, and continuity for the Spanish monarchy instead unearthed a royal tension that can no longer be ignored. As the palace gates opened and the crowds lined the road with phones aloft and breath held, the royal family stepped out with grace honed by years of protocol. King Felipe VI stood tall and confident, the living embodiment of continuity and calm. Beside him, Queen Letizia, ever poised, presented her usual image of style and purpose. But all eyes were on their daughters, Princess Leonor, heir to the throne, and her younger sister, Infanta Sofía, stepping into their new public roles with elegance and anticipation. Leonor, fresh from her military training and looking every bit the future queen, was expected to dominate headlines for all the right reasons. And Sofía, long considered the quieter, more reserved royal, was stepping out with newfound maturity, signaling her own growing role in the crown's narrative. At first glance, everything seemed perfect. The sun-kissed setting, the vibrant yet traditional wardrobe choices, the subtle waves to the crowd, it was all textbook royal execution. But within minutes, beneath the practiced smiles and carefully choreographed movements, a different story began to emerge. Body language experts watching the footage noticed it first. The subtle hesitations, the glances that didn't quite meet, the physical distance that lingered a beat too long. Between Leonor and Sofía, something was off. This wasn't just a sibling misstep or awkward moment between teenagers, it was a pattern. As the reception unfolded, the two sisters appeared more like distant dignitaries than the close-knit royal duo the palace had long promoted. Social media lit up almost immediately, with royal watchers dissecting every moment. Clips zoomed in on Leonor's furrowed brow as Sofía addressed a guest on her own. Others pointed to how Sofía seemed to hang back deliberately during photo ops, keeping a measured distance from her older sister. Even their brief exchanges, barely audible in the press audio, seemed strained, formal, and detached. And the whispers grew louder. Sources close to the palace suggest that this tension has been simmering behind closed doors for some time. It's no secret that Princess Leonor's path is a carefully mapped journey toward the throne. Her schooling, military training, public appearances, they're all part of a rigid curriculum preparing her for future queenship. Sofía, in contrast, walks a far less defined road. Without a clear role, yet forever in the public eye, she has reportedly struggled to find her place in the royal machine. While Leonor has blossomed under the weight of expectation, Sofía has reportedly grown more withdrawn, perhaps even resentful of the spotlight she's expected to support but never fully share. Insiders hint at deeper emotional divides. Behind palace doors, Leonor is said to have embraced her destiny with a seriousness that sometimes borders on obsession. Her academic discipline and military precision have earned her the admiration of many, but also created an emotional wall. Sofía, by contrast, has leaned into artistic interests, social causes, and more contemporary activism, fields often viewed with suspicion by royal traditionalists. This difference in values and personalities has, according to one confidant, turned sisterly disagreements into prolonged coldness. That coldness was undeniable at Marivent. Even when King Felipe attempted to engage both daughters simultaneously, there was an undercurrent of unease. Queen Letizia, ever alert to public optics, was seen gently nudging Sofía forward in several clips, perhaps in a subtle attempt to bridge the emotional chasm. But nothing could distract from the visible lack of connection between the two young women. During group conversations with guests, Leonor often took center stage, answering with confidence, maintaining eye contact, leading the dialogue. Sofía's responses were polite but minimal, her body slightly turned away, hands clasped tensely in front of her. The press, typically restrained in their coverage of royal family dynamics, couldn't ignore what the world had already seen. Spanish outlets cautiously commented on the independent approaches the sisters were taking. International tabloids were less delicate, framing it as a palace feud, and speculating about growing divisions within the younger generation of the monarchy. Some headlines asked outright, are Princess Leonor and Infanta Sofía drifting apart? Observers were quick to compare the sisters to other famous royal sibling relationships, the tension between Prince William and Prince Harry being a particularly popular reference. But while such comparisons make for compelling headlines, insiders warn against direct parallels. Leonor and Sofia's dynamic is uniquely shaped by Spain's political fragility and the enormous pressure placed on the monarchy to remain apolitical, unified, and relevant in an increasingly skeptical society. Yet even in this unique context, the signs of emotional distance remain unmistakable. Several guests at the Marivent reception reportedly commented afterward on the cool atmosphere between the sisters. One noted that while Leonor was engaging and charismatic, Sofía seemed lost in thought, almost detached from the grandeur around her. Another observer described the sisters as two stars in different orbits, shining bright but never colliding. Even the photos released by the royal household after the event, typically curated to project warmth and unity, failed to fully hide the subtle discomfort between the young royals. Behind this tension lies a profound question that the monarchy may soon have to answer: what is Infanta Sofía's future in the crown? As Leonor continues her march toward queenship, supported by decades of planning and expectation, Sofía faces a murkier destiny. Will she be relegated to ceremonial roles? Will she be allowed a public career of her own choosing? Or will she, like so many spare heirs before her, be left to navigate a complex life of visibility without purpose? The stakes are higher than they appear. In a country where support for the monarchy fluctuates with every scandal or misstep, unity within the royal family is more than symbolic, it's strategic. A divided front, especially between the two royal sisters who symbolize the future of the institution, could have lasting repercussions on public perception. The Spanish monarchy, long weathering the storms of political discontent and historical reckoning, cannot afford another narrative of internal conflict. And yet, despite their best efforts, that's precisely the story emerging from Marivent. The palace has not released an official statement regarding the sisters' dynamic, and it's unlikely they ever will. The monarchy prefers silence over scandal, elegance over emotion. But behind closed doors, sources say conversations are already underway. Queen Letizia, fiercely protective of both daughters, is reportedly working to mend their relationship, perhaps aware of the psychological toll royal life can take. King Felipe, ever the pragmatist, is said to be focusing on ensuring Leonor's future reign proceeds without distraction. Yet the question remains, can that future truly be strong if it's built on fractured foundations? As the sun set over the island and the reception drew to a close, guests departed with their souvenirs of conversation, champagne, and memories. But the world had already taken its souvenir from Marivent 2025, an unforgettable glimpse into the complex, painful, and very human drama unfolding behind palace walls. The images captured that day will live on. The sisters smiling but not seeing each other, standing close yet feeling so far apart. And now, the world watches. Will Princess Leonor and Infanta Sofía find their way back to each other? Or has the weight of royal destiny already driven a wedge too deep? What do you think this tension means for the future of the Spanish monarchy? Could a fractured sisterhood unravel the very institution it's meant to uphold? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, like this video if you found it revealing, share with fellow royal watchers, and don't forget to subscribe to stay on top of every twist in the royal story.